Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Kays. There's coffee and we're the Kays. So thank you for joining us. This is episode 4 of our podcast, Coffee with the Kays. And we are on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts. So make sure you check out our other episodes. But thank you for joining us for this one. How are you doing, Kays?
Good. Hey, I want to propose a little contest. If they can notice what's different about this podcast, let us know.
Oh, what's different about this podcast?
You could win a little prize or something. You have to get in touch with us, though. Okay. Something's different.
Something's
different. It's a cliffhanger. Okay, right. There we go.
So put it in the comments. Put it in the comments or DM us. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, we have Ron K. That's my dad.
Ta-da.
And we got Kyle K. That's my mom. And I'm Josh K. So we have some special coffee today. So let's talk about what we got.
This is Whidbey Coffee from Whidbey Island, which is in off of the coast of Washington State.
There you go.
And it was given to us by some students who were stationed up there. And
that's Navy
awesome.
Coffee.
That is,
if I was going to describe it, that is Navy Coffee.
It's Navy Coffee.
I want to be able to smell it like you do.
Yeah. There's a little
you got
it right here.
I know.
How did you make this cup of coffee?
So this was a chemex. So I used the chemex. So I had to get a chemex, an actual chemex maker, because I had like a fake one, but it wasn't what I realized. That's what it did. Fake chemex probably. Well, the problem was because what happened is it didn't have a funnel that went down. It was like flat at the bottom where you put the grounds in, so the coffee seeped out the sides and it didn't go down the middle. And so I don't know, I didn't get much good coffee out of it, and I finally said, you know what, I need to just buy a chemex maker.
Because you don't have enough coffee.
Well, I mean, I got rid of the other one, so, you know, it made
It's like buying shoes. You get a new pair, you throw out a pair, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's really flavorful.
Yeah,
I like that. That's why I said it was Navy Coffee, man. It's like strong.
Well, what really is, see, I'm reading the bag, so I'm cheating.
Cheater.
But when I read the bag, I definitely taste the first ingredient that's on the bag.
The first note,
the first
coffee.
Tastes like.
Yeah. The first ingredient.
Whidbey blend. The first taste like is Baker's chocolate, and it definitely does.
Did you get that?
Baker's chocolate. I didn't get that. That was I got that on the back end.
Yeah.
I think I just got it because when I read that, I went, I get it.
It tastes like oranges.
For our listeners, that's an inside joke. You have to go back and listen to several of our other podcasts. But yeah, exactly. I was waiting for that.
You don't have to go back that far.
I was waiting for that.
It does not have a citrusy taste.
No,
not at all.
Yeah. No, it's smooth.
Yeah, it's very smooth. Okay, so first of all, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
The Jose family, thank you very much, Jose.
Hi, Jose family.
We know you're listening. They were the ones who gave this, and they take drums and piano.
Yes.
Their boys take drums and piano from us, and
now go practice.
There you go. Yes.
After podcast.
That's right.
It's okay.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Does that count as a view? I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah.
This was a teacher appreciation gift, and that was really awesome too to get that on that.
We told them we'd put it on the podcast.
We did. She's been asking me every week.
Yeah, very
Mom and Dad are very involved with the lessons.
Well, and they go to the school that I teach at Helen Caro Elementary. So shout out Helen Caro, Caro Captains.
Caro Captains.
Caro Captains.
Yes.
So there we go. So that's good. Now I knew that we were going to be talking about this, and it's funny because as many episodes as we've done, we always come up with like all these different ways of describing the coffee, but then there's sometimes where it's just like, it's good.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like coffee.
Some are better than others.
Right.
You know?
Well, so I got a website here where they had 4 categories. If you're going to rate a coffee, these are the 4 categories you should go with. Okay? So the first one is aroma. How intense and pleasurable is the aroma when the nose first descends over the cup and is enveloped by fragrance? Aroma also provides a subtle introduction to various nuances of acidity, taste and flavor, bitter and sweet tones, fruit, flower, or herbal notes, and the like.
You sure this isn't a wine article?
Yes.
It's very much,
No,
I
but it's the
want to
same.
gargle with it.
When I inhale over the cup of coffee, I don't get anything.
I'm not getting much aroma.
Not much.
You know?
Yeah.
There is
But
not much
there's
aroma.
other coffee. Okay, so we bring up the Weasel Coffee all the time, but that's because it's really good coffee, people.
Yeah.
Good coffee.
The aroma,
It's a
you
blend.
can smell the Weasel Coffee.
In the other room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the now this
The
doesn't
little weasel poops in it.
right.
Just
Yeah, I had to
rocks.
bring that up. Yeah.
And we were
Right.
trying to be
You know,
dignified.
it's civil here, okay?
This really does not have aroma.
The aroma
Very
right when
slight.
you open the bag is pretty strong.
Oh yeah. Or if
Yeah,
you
this is
squeeze
good.
it.
It
Yeah,
smells,
but
yeah.
from the brewing process, and that could be too just part of it. Like maybe if I made it in a French press because it has to sit in a French press for like 4 minutes, you know, maybe that would make
really
a difference.
doesn't have
It's not much
No,
aroma.
that's why I'm a little surprised. You know.
All right, here's the next one. Acidity. Acidity is the bright, dry sensation that enlivens the taste of coffee. Without acidity, coffee is dull and lifeless, and that's how you can tell coffee is stale, right?
Oh, yeah, we've been talking
Acidity
about
is not a sour sensation, which is a taste defect, nor should it be excessively drying or astringent, though it sometimes is. At best, it is a sweetly tart vibrancy that lifts the coffee and pleasurably stretches its range and dimension. It can either be delicate and crisp, lush and rich, powerfully tart but sweet, or background but vibrant, to cite only a few positive ways to characterize it. I think it's definitely got acidity.
Yes. It
Oh
is.
yeah, it's like background and vibrant.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's
Because-
exactly what I
But
was
it is
thinking.
a little, like it's making me thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so maybe it has like a dry.
That's
a
the
little
high
dry-
acidity.
Yeah.
It's not
Or you just came to the podcast thirsty.
right. So it could have been. But I'm feeling this.
She came cold.
Right.
Wait to
She's
get the coffee.
thirsty.
I'm freezing. Yes, it
Oh,
is
man.
almost June and I'm freezing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's because the air's on.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, so you know, I'm definitely tasting that, but I don't think it
It's not
does
a bad
seem it's
taste.
like in the background.
No, it's good. It's like
Yeah.
you said, it livens it up.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and if it gives it, like if you kind of swirl it around your mouth, you do taste a lot of stuff. And then
Yeah.
after you're done drinking it, you're still tasting it. So maybe is
Yeah.
that the acidity?
That's
I-
yeah. I think that's part of it. So here's the next one. Well, that goes along with this one.
Okay.
Body and mouthfeel describe sensations of weight and texture. Body can be light and delicate, heavy and resonant, thin and disappointing. In texture, it can be silky plus syrupy, lean or thin. I think it's silky. I think you said it was real smooth. You
Yeah.
know, I'm feeling that.
It's
definitely.
not thin, it's not watery.
No.
I mean, it's
It's
actually
not
a strong
thick,
cup
that's
of
for
coffee.
sure.
Mm-mm.
It's not a thick taste like the Guatemalan. That's
No,
thick,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So it's not quite like that, and that's probably because this is a blend. This is like South
It is.
American, yeah. Because it does remind me a bit of the Honduras that we got from Gary that time.
Yeah.
So Central America, South America, and Indonesia, which is that Timor-Leste that we had in the last podcast. That was the same kind of region there.
It does have a hole in the back.
So I know I gotta. We'll get. I'll
Okay.
fix that later. All right. Then the last one: flavor and aftertaste, including everything not suitably described under the categories of aroma, acidity, and body. An assessment of flavor includes consideration of the balance of basic taste, sweet, bitter, and sour in particular, and specific aroma and flavor notes, which are many and can be described by associations like floral or nuances of sweetness, woody, that kind of thing. So that's where the chocolate taste comes
Yeah,
in.
there's like a hint of chocolate afterwards. I think.
There is, it does.
Yeah, a little
It's good.
Well, they're
Don't-
saying on here, baker's chocolate, caramel, and cedar. I don't taste the caramel at all.
I'm tasting the caramel.
Are you?
Yeah, right away, right on the front of it. I'm getting that
I
little
think it is,
caramel taste.
you were saying it's like wine tasting. It is like that when different parts of your tongue taste different things, so.
Well, and this is why I read this and I thought, oh, we've got to talk about this, and we'll have to use it again, next time. But it's more pleasurable experience when you're drinking the coffee and you're thinking about all these things, right?
Yeah.
It's delicious, so it really is
Well,
good. I mean, I like it.
Second taste there, and looking for that caramel. Yeah, you can taste it
You can
right
taste
away.
it. Yeah. Did he just say caramel?
He did. I don't know who he
It's
is.
caramel. It's not
I don't know.
caramel.
Caramel. There's an A in there. C-A-R-A.
Is this going to be our debate for the day?
5 hours later, it's caramel! It's caramel!
Yes, it
Your
is.
dad would have a fit with that one.
I don't know how, I think he said,
Caramel.
I think he said caramel.
Yeah.
Yes, it
We
was
all
in
know.
Because
New
it's more
Jersey.
educated to say caramel.
I don't know.
Chocolate.
It's,
Chocolate,
But
yeah.
Caramel.
we didn't say chocolate. We always grew up saying chocolate. So I don't know.
Chocolate?
People think that that's a New York, New Jersey thing. In New Jersey, we say chocolate. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
chocolate.
say chocolate more. now.
Chocolate.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. We digress.
Did you get it from the drawer?
From
Yes.
the
I actually said draw the other day. I was probably stressed out cleaning up at school,
Yeah.
and I said, we got to get the stuff out of that drawer. And I realized that they probably didn't even know what I was
What
saying.
you said.
You slipped
Oh, yeah.
into the New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's funny.
right there. So Whidbey Island is known as The Rock. It's a nickname, The Rock. Anyway, just FYI. Yeah, it looks really beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks like
I've heard from
Yeah.
people that were stationed there that was really good. Great
Yeah.
place to be.
Well, that's one of the families, another family from my school that I've kept in touch with for many years.
they moved up
yeah,
there?
they live.
Yeah.
Right.
Did they
Oak
watch the
Harbor, right
podcast
around
now?
there.
They gotta get a lot
Yeah.
of rain.
Oh yeah.
I mean-
Oh yeah.
That's just not something I desire to have.
That's probably why they have good coffee.
It
though.
really is.
It's a good environment for
It's
it.
really good. I could see myself requesting this again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, some coffees, what did we have last week?
Timor-Leste.
Yeah, that was.
No, that was.
Unless we drink
Yeah.
it again with
See,
these
I think
things,
that's
and
the
we go
thing.
through
When you
these
think
things.
about it, aroma, acidity, body, flavor.
This is way better than that.
It is.
This is better than
Yeah,
the
I think
Timor-Leste.
so, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely more complex. Timor-Leste was a lot lighter.
It's just not enough in my cup.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be the issue.
Mhm.
So we'll be right back.
Yeah, that's it. I know, right? So yeah, so the bag has a hole in it, so I need to put it in a container to
Oh,
check it out.
there you go.
Nice.
That was a nice transition
Right?
to
Oh yeah, so
container.
the Timor-Leste is in here already, okay? But this is a vacuum seal container, and it's got a little handle in there like that.
Oh,
Oh,
Hear that?
no.
Yeah.
did you folks hear that?
That's good. That's good. Listen. Yep.
Wow.
And it's locked in, and then you push the handle, and
Gotta
it's,
keep it fresh.
that'll keep it fresh. So you want to guess where this comes from?
That liquor store.
No.
They had everything.
They had everything. I know.
I thought that was
Total
from
Wines.
Oakland Coffee.
Oakland Coffee. Do you know
Yeah.
who owns Oakland Coffee?
I should, because you've told me many times. It's
Greenday.
Greenday.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
There was-
Yes. So the guys from Greenday have a coffee company called Oakland Coffee, and it's actually really good coffee. But this is their newest container, their vacuum sealed container right
That's
here.
nice.
Yes. And so it was, I don't know, they had some kind of special. It was like, buy this and you get this for half off or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to jump on it because,
I probably need to get one of those, because I'll open a bag of coffee and then I put it in my coffee container. It's
Mhm.
not necessarily vacuum packed. It seals pretty good.
it seals, yeah.
But then
It's
I
airtight.
drink it every single day till it's gone, because I don't want it to go stale. So
Well, there was
I
a
drink
couple of
the
things.
same kind.
There were a couple of things that I learned just recently that exposure to UV lighting can cause it to go stale quicker.
Oh.
So you want
Well, why
to keep
did-
it in a container that's not clear,
Ah.
and that
Ours
has
is clear.
something to do.
That's,
right.
well,
right.
that's going in the garbage.
There you go. Yeah.
Whew,
So
learned something new.
right.
Well, this was a fun coffee podcast. Well, I thought it was fun. I hope you find it.
It was
Maybe,
educational,
yes,
right?
it was a very educational. Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And thank you again, Jose family.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very
nice.
much.
Very nice. Very thoughtful.
Yeah. This is one of the, it seems like it gets better. You keep.
It is.
Yeah,
It does.
very good.
So you know how they had those shows back in the day when they would say, "Keep those cards and letters coming."
Yeah.
Yes. Keep that coffee coming. No.
You want your coffee to be featured in
I
the next
know.
episode of Coffee with Kaye.
Well, that's one of the nice things about doing this is that so many people have given us coffee to try.
Oh yeah,
It's
that
awesome.
has been one of the best things.
And then
Absolutely.
we've actually purchased some of the coffee that we've tried because we liked it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think we're out of the Weasel Coffee now. Right?
We are, yeah. So I know.
Bummer.
We'll have to wait. David, he'll have to take another trip to Cambodia. Bring
Yeah.
us some back. David, if you're listening.
I bet you can buy it other than.
Yeah, you can, but
You have
it's
to fly to
expensive.
Cambodia.
$35 for a bag.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
expensive.
Well, Father's Day.
Father's Day. That's it.
Yes, good
Cool.
deal. Nice.
All right, so we're gonna transition to the Browns.
Well,
here?
we're gonna try.
Yeah,
A little bit.
you know, it's like, are we gonna step in the mud?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, here's the thing. Let's start with the good stuff, okay? Before we
Jadeveon Clowney.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Jadeveon, sorry. I
Yes,
can't say wrong.
Jadeveon Clowney re-signed. Here's the other thing about it. He got offered more money from other teams and turned them down
Wow.
because he wanted to play for Cleveland.
All right, for that man.
There we
I'll tell
go.
ya.
That's right. That's right.
Him and Miles Garrett, man, on the
They're
ends,
tear it
that's
up.
incredible.
Tear
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's it.
Unless they decide to play one.
Yes,
Play
Bobby
the next
Stefanski
one.
and
The
now.
next. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I opened up a
Yeah.
whole.
We can't have them both on the same team at the same time.
Hasn't happened. Okay.
Well, you know.
So
You
Yeah,
ever heard of
just-
Chubb and Hunt?
yeah. Well.
Or Chubb or Hunt?
Yeah. Well.
Because it's
but
like
Hunt-
one or the other.
To be fair, Hunt
No.
was injured for a large part of last season.
To be fair, the time he wasn't, there was no excuse for him sitting on the bench.
Yeah. Well, I'll give it.
He's a
that.
super runner. He gets Chubb like jealous.
Yeah.
You know, he starts
They can
racking up
beat,
amounts
yeah,
and
they can
Chubb's like,
beat.
oh, no, you don't. You know,
Yeah.
he gets
Yeah,
out there and
right.
knocks out more.
Yeah.
And then they tell him to run out of balance instead of scoring a touchdown.
There we go. And we're okay.
You knew you were going to hear
I
that.
know.
That's
I
right.
just
There's certain
Can't be a
things
podcast without bringing that
We
up.
talk about citrus coffee and Chubb running out of bounds.
Yes,
Every
yes.
single time. And
I love Chubb. I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
that was
Oh, yeah.
a super guy.
Absolutely,
Yes.
he's a great
That
player.
was the dumbest thing I ever saw in football.
Yes,
bar
well,
none.
it depends on who you ask, because there are other.
I don't know.
Keep me coming. I'm
not
really going
kidding.
to take that side.
I'm not taking his side. I'm
Then
just
why are
telling
you
you.
bringing that
I'm just telling
trash up?
you because I would not be surprised.
You know, Dad, there are people that disagree with you.
Yes, that's it. That's what it is. Yes.
All right.
Well, so here's the other exciting part.
What?
Martin Emmerson.
He's our guy.
He's our guy now.
He's our guy from Pine Forest High
From
School.
Pine Forest High School,
Yeah.
local guy.
Now, that's a guy, when you watch the footage,
Yeah,
he's phenomenal.
he's putting the
Yes.
work in.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't hear nobody raining trophies and Super Bowls and all that on him.
Yeah, they're talking about how great he is. What do you think?
They say he's great, but they
Yeah.
don't do like they're doing Deshaun.
Well, that's because he's still a
Deshaun
rookie.
eats
He's a rookie.
beans, and everybody's like, yeah, man, this is the greatest I've ever had. You know, that's just disgusting.
China. Okay.
What, you
That
don't
was,
make the connection?
that was an interesting analogy. On this.
They think his poop don't stink.
Oh, okay. I see. That's
Well,
what it
wait,
is
he
saying.
has to explain.
Now
I know,
it
he's
makes-
telling me.
Now I
You have to
get it.
explain it.
Yes,
Okay.
that was
Now
it. I
we
was,
know.
He's eating
Yeah.
beans.
Because this kid from Pine Forest, man, he's
Yeah.
really impressive. Plus, he's like 100 foot tall. You know?
He's really tall.
He's tall.
I mean,
Yes.
you look at him on the reels and go, he's talking to the coach, you know,
I know.
That's
I
it.
know.
fully down. You
I
know?
think that really gives him an advantage in
Oh,
his
of course,
position
yeah.
too. It's gonna be
100%. Well,
amazing.
and the fact that they have Denzel Ward there, working with him and stuff, and they're training together. I think
And he's
that's
really
good
excited to
opportunity,
learn.
yeah,
When you
something
talk to
like
him, he
that
just seems like a nice kid.
Mhm.
He wants to learn. He wants to grow.
Absolutely.
He's
This town,
excited.
man, it's something in the water.
It-
just
Pensacola?
yeah,
Yeah.
it just sprouts up
Yeah.
star athletes.
Well, it's really funny because, you talk to kids, and I mean as many kids as are in the entire county, and how many of them go on to be Pro Bowl. Yeah, it's such a small percentage, but it's a heck of a lot more than other places.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Well,
really...
and like every high school can say they have somebody in the
Yes.
NFL. I
Well,
mean, it's pretty.
and I think it started
Yes.
like when we got here in 86,
87,
86, and they had like the Don Sutton Highway.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm telling her, and she says, "Who's Don Sutton?" Well,
Yeah.
and then, okay, there was a couple,
And then Emmett came
since
along.
that time.
Yeah.
It has just exploded. Man.
Well, and-
Boxing, football, baseball.
Roy Jones, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. It is. It's
And who was that guy from Gulf Breeze that was in the
Baldwin.
yes.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Well, I'm waiting for the musical stars.
Yes.
I know, right? To
No.
start coming. There we go.
Yeah.
We got to keep. Well, we did have that one guy that was in American Idol. That was
Just recently they had
Chase, wasn't that his name?
I don't
Can't
know,
remember his
I
because-
name.
thought he was from
Unfortunately.
Mobile.
No, he was from
He
here.
went to Tate High School.
One of our
Oh, okay.
students was friends with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's
So-
actually pretty good. He had an
Yeah.
album out.
We're
It was,
really not
yeah.
prepared with the name. We
was
should have
pretty
had
cool.
it. Next podcast.
We'll have it for
Yeah.
you
We'll
guys
have it
next
for
time.
you.
Yeah,
That
that's
would be
it.
a good podcast to talk
Right.
about.
American
music.
Idol is to me, a little misleading because, yes, there are superstars that came out of that process.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yep.
it's not entirely fair, the way they choose who's
Right.
going to go.
Unless they've changed it.
We're looking
Oh.
for, in the beginning, we're looking for whining, crabby son of a guns to
Right.
show on TV,
Yeah.
Or we're looking for heartache stories,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they shot my dog, then they came back for the rest of us,
Right.
And then, okay, you'll get my vote for American Idol, right? I mean,
Right.
and they do, it's like planned, and that's the part of it I think is a little unseemly.
Well, I think we always had the idea when it first started that it was, every single person that walked into the building saw the judges, right?
Right, yes,
And we're,
yes.
and then that was the thing is we really didn't even find out until we had students who auditioned
Right.
Right.
that
And then we started
that's
to see
not
the
the
process.
case. Yeah, and that they'll
They saw
just
a producer.
right.
Yeah.
And it was sometimes like several rounds of producers, so it just
And they didn't even
wasn't.
sing. They would just see the producer.
They would just
Yeah.
look at
and
them.
say, no,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're not looking for your type.
Yeah,
We're
we got
looking
your
for type.
demographic. Yeah, you're out. Yeah.
That's to me.
Yeah.
That's no.
But I
Well,
guess
there's
if
a
you're,
girl
if
I-
you're building a Frankenstein, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what you want.
Well, that's the
Well, they're
reality
making a
TV.
show. They're
Reality
making a show.
TV,
Yeah.
right? It is. It's a show. It's a show.
You know,
Right.
what has it been now, like 30 years or something?
It's been a long
It's
time.
been a long time. It has not been 30 years.
It's
I
not
can't
been
watch
done,
the
but-
show anymore.
Yeah, I have trouble.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't even know who won. Somebody won
Yeah,
recently.
and that's what I
Yeah.
say is like, well, good for you.
American Idol.
You and your family know, and
Right. Well, when it was,
what has that got? Because everything,
Right.
the dynamics have all changed.
it's all
Yeah,
changed. When it
it's
first got started, it really was. It was. Huge, right?
Yes, it was
And
huge.
so even the people, because there was Kelly Clarkson won the first one.
Yeah.
But even the people that were runners up ended
All
up having careers, right?
Yeah.
And
we
there
got
was
to call.
movies, and there was
You called in and voted on the phone.
Yeah.
You didn't have an internet to it was just different.
Well, the internet was a thing, but I mean,
But
it
it-
wasn't. We weren't voting.
We let her out once in a while.
the intro was.
on the World Wide Web. No, that was. But that was the thing is you would call and you
You would call in, and then we kept
vote,
calling.
yeah.
You would call and then call
Yeah.
again and again and again.
And that interaction kind of made it fun.
It was. You were a part of it.
After all these years, it's like it's lost its luster.
It's one
you
out.
know?
Yeah. Well, because
And
they
the
had
guy
their
that
time.
won this year was a country artist, right?
I think so.
I don't know.
And I mean, like, he was okay.
Yeah.
But he wasn't nothing like you hear in Nashville. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know, but he won. Congratulations to him.
And maybe he is going to be famous. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
it's
know next
possible.
time.
You
Next
never know.
podcast.
I think the idea is you
Yeah.
build this fan base
Yes.
Right.
through your appearance on the show and all that. So then when you're off the show, you carry the fan base with you
Yeah.
and
Right.
see if you can grow it from there.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
But people
absolutely.
like Fantasia, that didn't work.
Well, it did. It just.
Who is she?
She's on Broadway right now.
Yeah,
Is she?
she transitioned.
She,
to
that was
Broadway.
what happened.
Which
She
is-
got out of that mainstream pop
Yeah.
scene,
Okay.
But
She was talented. I
right.
mean, yeah.
The perfect example though would be Ruben Studdard because he won.
Poor Ruben.
Yeah, he won, but then Clay Aiken really was the one who won. You know what I mean? Because he's the one that had the fan base
Popular
that just
appeal.
and
Yeah.
took off, and then he even got into acting and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I mean Ruben did well, but it wasn't. I don't know. I feel like he should have gotten more.
And
He
it's so different
seemed
now.
very accepting of whatever.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like laid back and too laid back.
Yeah.
He would have been a little more.
A little more savvy
Forceful.
business. Yeah, that's it. But that is what happened with Daughtry though, because Chris Daughtry,
He didn't win?
No, and I was a big fan of his.
Yeah,
and
for
then
years.
after he left, he started his own band, and
Right.
I mean, we all went with him, and
Yeah. It is. I mean, that was kind of an odd transition. We didn't really plan on talking about this, but it's so different now because like all of those kids, I guess they weren't all kids. It used to be an age limit, and you had to sing a cappella. You couldn't do stuff with an instrument, and you could. There was all kinds of rules, and then all of that kind of over the many years had they changed, which I think they needed to do that. I think that's part of the growth and changing. But I think all of those people that were on there that were competing, they all had YouTube channels with songs and already, stuff that was all set up.
American Idol.
I'm not really sure, but that's good. Just keep it going. Keep it rolling,
It was
and we
good.
can go
It was nice.
right
It was a nice
into
transition.
our next
I'm
transition.
excited for the season coming up. I still got that wait and see attitude.
I know we hear it. We'll see. We'll see.
I need
Like I said,
words.
Cleveland has a disease when it comes to quarterbacks. They put too much pressure on them by crowning them king of everything and talking about how awesome they are and how like there's nobody like them on the planet, never will be again.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield. It's like, and this guy will probably join that ash heap sometime in his life too.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. I mean, that's the thing. They're paying them so much money. That's why they're on.
And somebody told me, look, man, you can't possibly
do.
spend that much money in your lifetime.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, cool, man. I'll buy everybody Rolexes. I'll buy me some friends.
Yep,
well,
take the offensive line to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody's.
Well, that's it. They all loved it. It was good team building. Good for morale.
I think whatever you're supporting there is not what you need to succeed. You're doing like a social thing instead of really true. We're working together. We're on the same team. We're all equal. It's not that way. It's hard to be equal with a king.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Well,
according to the reporters, when they're on the field, he is talking to everyone. He's not just doing his thing and everybody leave me alone. He's walking around.
I never said that.
Yeah, he's so they're saying that he's taking a interest in everybody on the team. He's making sure he's getting to know everybody on the team. That he's basically doing what he's supposed to be doing as the leader.
So it says the bulk of the OTA work is more about Watson building chemistry with his new receivers and getting used to working behind a new offensive line. Watson delivered a few good throws and showed some strong footwork, but the offense, as well as all elements of the team, are a work in progress.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. You've got
A
some.
work in progress.
You got some rookies in there.
This is the ray of light of truth coming into the situation. It's not like we got this guy. I'm going to size my ring now for the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. I mean, now it's time to get to work.
If you watch the crap, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that is not good. Yeah. It's like when they made Baker's a franchise quarterback. It's his home, the stadium's his house. You just screwed that guy.
Yeah, they
in the worst possible way, and nobody has a clue that you did, because not even Baker thought that was a bad thing.
Right.
But he pumped his head up so big, he couldn't even get it through the door without Alice Cooper's help.
Next door neighbor. That's it.
Ron Kaye's music instruction has been trusted by thousands in Pensacola to learn, play, and love music. Our strong passion for teaching music provides expert knowledge and guidance which helps you succeed and have fun with your music lessons. Whether it's a bucket list dream or a desire to enhance your child's life, our music lessons are the answer. Call 850-453-9966 now. Realize your musical dreams. Visit musiclessonspensacola.com today.
It's and that's
funny.
That happens all throughout life, because we see that at school with these kids that have been told that they're gifted. They don't do a testing process and
Yeah, you
find out
prove
that
my
you're
point.
gifted.
Yes.
And then they think that everything should come easy to them because they're gifted.
They were
Now,
born that
when
way.
it
Yes.
doesn't,
Yeah.
it's the end of
very
their life.
difficult.
Well,
It's
and
very
this
world is
difficult.
crashed.
Yeah.
This is when it is when it comes to music, because one of the interesting things about music is a lot of times it's a really good equalizer.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
you don't
Yes.
necessarily have to be, book savvy, smart to be a good musician.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't
Yes.
have to be the AB student to be a good musician. Now, there's definitely connections between people that get high grades on math and science scores and those who are studying music, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case.
No.
And, in some aspects, there's some people that are like people on the spectrum that have like a
excel.
heightened ability.
Yes.
Naturally,
Right.
that somebody who is quote unquote gifted,
Right.
a part of that gifted program, I should say.
Yeah. Well, and I think the biggest problem, that what I was saying, is that you have to work, no matter who you are.
Right.
You've got to work at it. And yes, we all put in a different amount of work and different, like you always say, you come into this with a certain amount of natural ability, and you got to put in a certain amount of work.
Yep.
And anyone can achieve if you put in the work.
Yes.
But I think what happens is, if you've been told that you're special, you're gifted,
Yeah, you're
and
gifted.
then you have to work, you think that something's wrong.
Something's wrong, because no, I didn't have to work to get all the skills
Right.
that I have. That was a huge revelation to me a while ago, that we were having a conversation like this, and I was sitting there going, that's the problem, is there's two sides to that coin. Everything that you do that's awesome is because you're gifted.
Right.
So then, consequently, when you do something and it's not awesome, you were also born that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have the abilities because you were born that way. So then the things you can't do is also because you're born that way as well.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I know that you always used to get upset because you worked hard to be an excellent musician. And we saw that hard work. We encouraged that hard work from when you were 3, and even to this day. We encouraged, that hard work. And then people say all the time, Josh or Mr. Kaye, boy, he's just gifted. And then it's like, you haven't seen the thousands of hours.
That was exactly.
And he would get really upset, like,
It still happens. It still happens. I had a kid just yesterday. I was teaching a student. It was a really good conversation because we kind of put all of that to rest. Because I said, you watch me play, and you think that I just did that.
Well,
I just woke up and that happened.
What you're supposed to do is make it look easy.
Make it look easy, right?
Yes.
And I said, you didn't see the thousands of hours that I put into this. And you could be, and then he even put it together. He said, well, when did you start playing the guitar? I said, it was like 14. And he's like, oh man, I'm 10. I could be better than you because I started before. And I said, yes, you could. That was it.
Yes.
It was a really good conversation, but that was the thing, is I had to help him understand that. It was like, when I started playing at 14, I wasn't the way I am now,
But you were blessed to have parents that were musicians that encouraged you.
A musical.
And I was born, I was born in a musical family too. And when you have that kind of nurturing, so any parent can be that nurturing parent.
100%.
So many parents will say, they're like, well, I don't know anything about music. Well, you're about to learn.
Yeah.
Strap in for the ride, because here we go. You're going to learn. And I tell the kids, if you don't understand this, you read this to mom or dad and see if they can understand. And then if they don't, guess what? They can text me. They can call. They can call Ron or Josh, and we can help you through it.
Internet.
But, I wanted to. This is just running in my head because you talk about hard work. I've been singing literally my whole life. I mean, I probably never remember not singing. And there's video and cassette
we have video
tapes
evidence, people.
and reel-to-reel tapes of me singing and stuff. So yes, I loved singing always, and I always sang. And then when I started really singing like in front of people, honestly, I really thought I was all that. I mean, I did. And I loved it, and I could hit those high notes and stuff. But honestly, I really wasn't hitting those high notes. And I really didn't always sound that good. And so then I started listening myself back and thinking, oh my gosh, people were listening to this. And they were
Well, people don't want to. They don't want to say, "Oh, you're not Yeah, that's it. Because you
Yeah.
know they want to encourage you and all that, and so. But then it's you've always said you start reading your own press clippings.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'll never forget one time, and I don't remember how old I was. I think I was in college, so I think I was already starting to really be trained. And I came back home to my family. There was some big family get-together at my sister's house, and I was going to sing for everybody and do a surprise thing, which, I've done that before. And so I put in my cassette tape to sing along with it, and I sang some song that really, went into the rafters, hit those high notes. And the looks on their faces were not, they were like, okay, thanks, okay,
That's
sit
good.
down.
Yeah.
And I thought,
You were in the South, they'd be like, "Oh, bless her heart."
Bless her heart, that was it. And I thought, I've thought about that moment, and I thought, I wasn't that good. I don't know why I really thought I was better than I was, and so
The support system can be an anchor sometimes.
it was but it was a good learning thing, because I
Yeah.
kind of took that moment all the way now into my late 50s
There you
to
go.
make sure that I practice and I continue to work hard.
Yeah.
We continue to practice and
Absolutely.
continue to work hard.
Oh, we
So that we
record
can
ourselves
maintain-
and listen back all the time.
Yes.
That's
And it's it doesn't just stop. You don't arrive. You just don't arrive. I mean, you arrive at a certain point where you're enjoying it and you're making music and having fun and playing, but if you want to keep growing, you keep growing.
Yeah.
That's all there is to
There you
it.
go.
It's great.
Yeah, well, and you have to keep working at it, because you
Yes.
can obtain a lot of skills and then lose them. 'cause
Oh yeah.
if you don't keep maintaining them,
Yeah.
that's what'll happen. So yeah.
So, talking about maintaining skills, we should talk about the challenges of summer. Where,
Summer.
Not the girl.
Oh,
We love you, Summer.
yeah.
Yes, we do.
There we go. No, I was thinking of the song.
Summertime.
I can see you, your brown skin shining in the sun.
That's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, me either.
Boys of Summer. That's that's the one. Don Henley.
Oh,
yeah.
Summer.
There we go. You got that.
But
It's the challenges that summer presents, because if you're taking lessons and you're going along and let's say you're a student in school and then you hit summer vacation, everything stops.
Yeah.
Everything just
Right.
stops. So while you might not feel like practicing now, because like you've been working and grinding all the way through school, and now it's summertime, so you shouldn't have that, and
Oh, right.
and then you treat it as the same as your other pursuits, and then it just flounders. And people like that think, well, we'll just take the summer off and then we'll come back and pick it up in the fall. And there have been a handful of people who have successfully done that over 20 years of 25
years.
But let's be clear about that. Have we ever, and I'm actually asking this question, okay, not just being facetious here,
Okay.
but have we ever had a student who stopped, picked it up after the summer was over, and didn't miss a beat, didn't have to review, didn't use any
yeah.
No.
You got that with your school kids. You
Yeah.
take
Yes.
the summer off and then you spend the first 3 months getting them
them
back to
back.
where they were when they left.
Getting them back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
how that is considered good for you, I don't get it, because the idea is you should be continually getting better and better and
Right.
better. And so you want to avoid that. And when you view it as something that you could just put down, walk away from, and come back and everything's still there, it's fine motor skills and muscle memory, man. It doesn't do that,
Yeah.
You see these great karate champions of the 60s and 70s, and you look at them now, and they're not doing 8-foot high side kicks and stuff, because
Yeah.
they stopped doing it. And
Right.
so everything atrophied like it normally does, and you don't get as much.
Yeah.
You could check that theory out if you rode a bike as a kid, and then you live your adult life and you're not riding a bike, and then all of a sudden you decide to go out and ride bikes, you go, whoa, man.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like, I do know how to do this. Like, in your head, you're like, you just get on and go, man.
Right.
You know, because
It's like riding a bike. That's what
They all say it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike.
skills atrophy, and if
Yeah.
you let them, you could lose what you gained. That's the biggest problem, is that you're making progress. You know, we as teachers, we try to get people into the process, right?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
The
that a lot.
process,
Process
yes.
of working rewards, hills and valleys, that kind of stuff, and get up to handle that, because you got to be able to master the hills and the valleys. You know, I have a student now that was on top of the hill, you know, new to lessons, you know, just loving it. Then they found out there's work involved, then they're in the valley. Now you gotta get yourself up to another hill, man. You know,
Right.
you gotta put some work in.
Yeah.
And they're not so sure they're gonna do that, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, they might not want to. And so you'll just die in the valley, so to speak, and not ever receive the rewards of all those other mountaintops down the line. You know?
Absolutely. You can't see what you haven't seen, you know?
And being a musician is an exclusive club. You know, it's an exclusive club. So not everybody is a musician. Not everybody can be a musician. But those who go through what it takes to become a musician can become a musician, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of if you're willing to submit to that, to the hills and valleys, and conquering that process.
Well, we talk about discipline. Everybody knows that when it comes to like you know in your head when it comes to learning an instrument that it takes discipline. If you ask any adult, they'll tell you that. And then some people will sign their kids up for lessons or classes or whatever because they want them to, you know, get discipline. But discipline doesn't just happen.
Right.
You know, it has to be learned. And I actually
Yes.
talked to a parent about this just last week. That I said, you know, this is a perfect opportunity for your child to learn discipline.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know, because they have to push through and practice when they don't feel like it, and all that to see that it works,
Right.
and then that'll motivate them.
Yeah.
Exactly, to keep going. But you know, that's the thing. Like taking a week off, if you've been, you know, playing and taking lessons and studying and practicing, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to take an entire week off. Well, yeah, you're going to be a little rusty when you come back, but that's not gonna do any massive damage. You know, it's the setting it down, not doing anything, getting out of the accountability of a lesson every week.
Right.
You know, that kind of a thing. That will cause all those skills to atrophy, you know. And then, you know, one of the things that I, you know, said just the other day, talking about this, was that if you pick up the book or, you know, the song or whatever it is that you were last working on after 2 months of not doing anything, and you try to play it, you can't. Now you're discouraged.
Yeah.
And then that's usually why we don't get the phone call again, you know, and they don't sign back up again, you know. And it's like, well, it doesn't have to be that way, you know. And so the best thing, you know, for what I've been telling all of my students that are in school is this is not school. Like, don't look at you taking lessons as school, because it's not. This, you know, school stops and starts back up again. You know.
Well, the
doesn't.
same principles apply when they
It does.
go on
It
summer
really does.
vacation, they come back, they lost a lot of what they learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the
You know,
schools.
that's why one of the reasons we homeschooled you was because of that very thing. Was you need to be kick-started every year.
Yeah.
Was that this is not right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you had too much time on your hands. You get an assignment, you finish the assignment before anybody else, and then you get in trouble. You know.
Yeah.
And then it was, oh, he's a little kid, so sweet little troublemaker.
Yeah. No, this was 11th grade. No.
No, it's like
4 or
kindergarten,
5.
pre-kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So we decided we're going to challenge you year round, and
Yeah.
we've never looked back since, and it served you well.
Well, yeah, because I remember one year, one of the only years that you actually let me have a whole summer of no
I
schooling.
remember it too.
You remember
Yes,
that?
we all
And it was
remember.
really, and like especially because I had taken that standardized test and I had scored like way higher than my grade level, and it was like, you know, and I passed my evaluations, and you know, Josh is the smartest kid in the world, and then We said, well, that was in my head, right?
Pretty soon he's gonna start doing progressive.
Yeah, at home with Joshua Kaye.
We kind of are.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. But that was the thing. So then we go through the summer and we come back, and I remember doing the first math sheet.
It was math. It was math.
Yeah.
He forgot all his
And I forgot
pencils.
everything, and it
And
was
that
so
was it.
frustrating because I knew that I could do that, and then I couldn't understand why I couldn't do it. Like, why was I getting it wrong? Because I knew I'd done this before, and this was easy, and all this stuff, and it wasn't because I had totally forgotten everything.
Yeah, I tell parents that every year because at school, public school, they do encourage kids to read over the summer. There are reading programs through the library that they can do. This year, the district spent a lot of money, $110,000, and bought books for every child in the school district, multiple books.
Yeah.
So they went home with 2, 3, 4 brand new free books to read over the summer, so at their level. So there's definitely support out there for reading, not so much for math. But it doesn't take $110,000. It takes mom or dad saying, okay, we're going to the store. I want you to estimate how much this is going to cost. Round up this can of beans.
Yeah.
What would it be if we rounded up? Or would we round down depending on the price, And we did all kinds of that stuff. 10% off. My mother was constantly getting, okay, it says 25% off. Somebody tell me how much is that off of this item, And so I grew up with that because it was part of life that you had to know these skills so you weren't ripped off. I tell kids all the time, yes, you have to be able to read, but if you don't know math, you're going to get ripped off.
Absolutely.
And then as a kid, you're like, what are we going to use math for?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to go to school and go to work and add all day.
Yeah.
I don't have to have one of those jobs,
Right.
They just don't realize it's
It's
fundamental to life.
Well, and this is a great opportunity, like you said, for parents to teach their kids functional skills.
Functional math, it's
functional
huge.
math.
And I'll never forget buying carpet for our brand new addition, and we called our 12-year-old son and said, okay, we're at the carpet store, you need to measure the area of that room so we can get the right size. And the guy in the carpet store was like, what are you doing? Leaving this to a 12-year-old? Are you out of your mind? And we were like, we totally trust him.
Yeah, and you did.
And we did.
And it was accurate.
And Ron rolled it out, and it just went whoosh, exactly perfect. We just had to cut out the closet.
Yeah.
And it was like, of course we trusted him, because we taught him, and he knew how to measure the area.
Yeah.
And you, like Poppy says, measure twice, cut once.
Oh yeah, well because it took me, I think it was like a half hour because I mean.
You
did not want to be wrong.
Oh my gosh.
I did not want to be wrong.
Just that Dana Carvey thing.
Don't spill them out.
Look that up.
Yes.
Hey.
But that was it. I remember that, and it was cool when that, and it was rewarding too because even now talking about it, like I get excited thinking about that because it was because
you were a kid.
Yeah.
You weren't 30. You were 12.
But I don't even know. Like that meant more to you guys than it did to me because to me it was the fact that I did it and I was right and it worked. And and here was it wasn't. You got an A on the test.
No, it was
we have the carpet now installed and it fits perfectly. You know, and when you watched it happen and you sit there and went, I did that. That was the best part. You know, that was
a very cool moment.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's just the idea of not letting your guard down so that you lose the skills that you've gained. And even some people will take lessons in the summer because they're looking for activities.
Right, yes, we do have that happen.
Baseball and soccer and whatnot. We'll just do music lessons, and that's good,
It's a good way.
But you can't come at it like it's like an incidental thing that you're doing. It's a big deal, I mean, you understand that this could impact your life positively for your whole life, actually.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the year, Graham Hepburn, who's Quaver from Quaver's Marvelous World of Music, he did a bunch of questions.
Shout out to Graham.
Yes,
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
But he said several times in these videos to the students, if you do music, you will have it for the entirety of your life.
How many
Yes.
things can you buy that are going to last your whole lifetime?
Well, how many things can you do that's going to be, I was saying this before we left for summer break, talking to other teachers and my principal and stuff at school, that, if you want to be an Olympic athlete, and you maybe even have, abilities and you work and you could even compete, you're not doing that forever.
No.
Yeah.
Some people that are competing at that level have one shot and then that's it for the rest of their life, because you just can't keep that up for the rest of your life. But you can play an instrument the rest of your life.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can play many instruments.
You can
learn to take that information and apply it to any instrument you want.
Absolutely. You can write songs. You can improvise. You can create. I mean, and you can do that the rest of your life.
You can. Yep, it's awesome.
So, So pick up an instrument.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that are well-meaning about taking the summer off. Well, we're going to be traveling a lot, or we're doing this, and it's just going to be too difficult. And
but that's all the more reason. That's all the more reason why you shouldn't just stop, because even if you have to miss a couple of weeks, because you need that accountability of a lesson a week that's going to get you out of the craziness, so to speak.
I agree. I think that, like I said, I think some people are well-meaning. They think, we're going to keep it up. I'm going to make sure she still practices when she's home, or he, or whatever. And it really, in reality,
if you don't have discipline now, you're not going to, have it pop up out of nowhere later on.
Well, that's what I was saying. You have to learn. It has to be learned.
And it's got a negative connotation sometimes, discipline, because you think of discipline as like spanking or being grounded or whatever, but that's not necessarily the context of it.
Not at all.
It's a good thing to be disciplined. Athletes are disciplined.
Yeah.
People who are excellent at whatever they do are disciplined.
Absolutely.
Whether you're an accountant or an astronaut, the excellence comes from the discipline.
Absolutely.
So I think if we could get young people today to embrace the idea of discipline as a positive thing and not a negative thing, they would do much better.
I agree. Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. That's an awesome way for us to end for today. So, thank you guys for watching. This was Coffee with the Kays. Ron Kaye, Kyle Kaye, Joshua Kaye. Be sure to rate this episode. Give us a comment too. Let us know what you think. Check out our other episodes everywhere you get podcasts and on YouTube. If you're watching, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and like this video. We appreciate that. Music in the beginning and in the end is from K-Struction.
Emerald Coast Sunsets.
Emerald Coast Sunsets, off of the album K-Struction by Ron Kaye. So check that out. And you've got a new single coming out. When is Nashville coming out?
It's June 12th.
June 12th. So
it's an instrumental tribute to Nashville and the musicians who are from Nashville or influenced by Nashville, which is their seismic influence from that city in the world. So it's truly an amazing thing. And so we got a song that's just gonna be a tribute to them.
Awesome.
It's a country blues.
Bluegrass.
Bluegrass. Country blues. Bluegrass.
A little bit of rock in there.
Rock.
It's a whole.
Rock guitar.
It's a whole mix. It's pretty cool.
And that's Nashville. You get country is not necessarily Merle Haggard. It's got a lot, and
absolutely.
A lot of different vibes. So that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Great place.
There you go. So check that out. June 12th. Right? That's being released June 12th on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, pretty much everywhere you get music. So make sure you check that out. So thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode of Coffee with the Kays.